When we evaluate our cost performance, one of the key data points is the actual cost of our project to date. The actual cost is a pretty straightforward number that you likely won't have to manually calculate. If you have been using control accounts to monitor expenditures on the level of each activity, you can aggregate these costs to determine what the project has spent to date. You may have project management software that tracks this for you. When we calculated schedule variance, we compared the earned value of our project to the planned value. Now that we are calculating the cost variance, we are going to compare the earned value to the actual cost. The purpose is to identify variance between the actual cost and earned value to determine whether the project is under budget, right on track, or over budget. To calculate the cost variance, or CV, you subtract the actual cost, or AC, from the earned value, or EV. Let's use an example where the actual cost of the project is $225,000 and the earned value is also $225,000. Can you determine the cost variance, or CV, in this example? If you'd like more time to think about your answer, just pause the video and resume when you're ready. If you said that the schedule variance is 0, that is correct. What does this mean for your budget? If you need a hint, consider this. You have created the same amount of value as you spent to do the work. Does this mean you are under budget, right on track, or over budget? Pause the video if you'd like more time, and then resume. If you said that you are right on track, that's correct. Now let's consider an example where the actual cost of the project is $500,000 and the earned value is $550,000. Can you determine the cost variance, or CV, in this example? You can pause now and resume when you're ready. If you said that the cost variance is $50,000, that is correct. What does this mean for your budget? In this case, you have created $50,000 more in value than it cost to do the work. Does this mean you are under budget, right on track, or over budget? Pause now if you'd like to think about the answer, then resume. If you said that you are under budget, that's right. When discussing cost variance, a positive variance means your schedule is under budget, a negative variance means your project is over budget, and no variance means you are right on budget. Cost performance can also be expressed as an index, or a ratio. You still use the data points of earned value, or EV, and actual cost, or AC, but instead of subtracting, you divide the EV by the AC. This gives you the Cost Performance Index, or CPI. A CPI greater than 1 means our project is under budget. A CPI of exactly 1 means our project is right on budget, and a CPI of less than 1 means we are over budget. Let's try an example where the EV is $750,000 and the AC is $700,000. Can you determine the CPI? If you'd like more time to think about your answer, just pause the video and resume when you're ready. If you said that the CPI is 1.07, you are correct. What does this mean for our budget? We know that we are under budget because the CPI is greater than 1. But just how do we express our cost performance? A CPI of 1.07 indicates that for every dollar we have spent on the project, we have created $1.07 in value. Now that we have calculated the cost variance and the cost performance index, we have a pretty good idea of how our budget is performing against the plan. If we find variance, we can make some decisions that realign our performance back to the plan. When we calculate the cost performance, we are also calculating the schedule performance and controlling the scope. Remember, these are the 3 triple constraints. If one area is performing well, it can be leveraged to help an area that is underperforming. Right now, we are just going to explore the relationship between time and cost and how they can be leveraged. In an ideal project, our budget and schedule will be running according to plan and no changes will be needed. But what if we run into trouble and we start to exceed our budget? We review the schedule and find that we are doing quite well in that area. Here is an opportunity to implement one of our resource optimization techniques to realign the budget with the plan. Can you think of a good technique to use in this situation? You may pause the video at any time to determine the answer, and then resume the video when you're ready to hear the correct answer. Did you say resource smoothing or leveling? Either of these may be possible solutions for realigning our budget. If we have available float in our schedule, it can be used in a few ways. We can use resource leveling to reduce the resources on an activity. The activity will expand in duration, but we will also be able to delay some of our expenditures. Another option is to use resource smoothing to delay the entire activity to a later start date. The resources allotted to that activity will not change, and the duration will also stay the same. We will just be using the float to delay the activity to a later date when our cash flows have hopefully improved. In summary, a good project manager will be able to assess project performance, identify variances, and implement responses to bring the project back in line with the plan.